Let us live vicariously through you for just a moment here. How did it feel to hold a world record?
My entire body just started tingling. I felt like I was levitating.
Welcome everyone to your guide to speedrunning Super Mario 64 in 15 minutes or less, presented by GEICO. I'm Emma Fife, here today to help us dive into the world of speedrunning Super Mario 64, thanks to our friends over at Games Done Quick, is simply thank you for being here virtually.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, now I do appreciate your Yoshi, your Mario, you're very on theme in the background there. I like that.
Yeah, we got a little bit of the culture. It's good.
Yeah.
Important.
Yeah, it is important. You might like Mario a little bit given the number of hours you've spent playing this particular game. So let's start off with the basics. What drew you to speedrunning originally?
So I actually wasn't interested in speedrunning because I didn't really know what it was. I was interested in League of Legends.
Oh.
And League of Legends brought me to Twitch, which on Twitch there was some guy named Siglemic who was like top of the streamer list at the time. Like in 2012, when Twitch was really early in its inception, Siglemic was at the top doing Mario 64 speedruns. And I played the game as a kid. I had some nostalgia with it. So I was like, all right. I watched a lot of him playing. He had like a marathon in August of 2012. I watched a lot of that. He was doing like 12 hours a day. I probably saw most of it. I would be there waiting until he started and watch it all and then be just like, wow, that was so sick. And I didn't even want to speedrun. I just wanted to play the game. So my brother helped me with an emulator, loaded up on my computer. And next thing I know, I wanted to try a trick just to see if I could do it. Seemed fun. And then I was like, you know what? Let's just learn the whole run. And I just kept going with it.
The rest is history. I think that is pretty characteristic of a lot of people that do get into speedrunning, is it kind of starts off as this casual interest. You've seen someone do it and you're like, man, that looks cool. I wonder if I could learn to do one very specific thing. And then you master that and you just kind of keep going and going.
Yeah, 100%. It was not my intention at all to go as far as I have gone. But the game is good.
Can you give us a breakdown of how that title made its way into the speedrunning community? Because obviously, again, this is an older game and certainly predates your time in the speedrunning community.
I can't tell you exactly what year it happened, but I'm pretty sure the earliest form that people were using to like spread information was either IGN or Speed Demos Archive. And that goes pretty far back, at least to like 2006, 2004 might be like one of the earliest runs you could find that's at least recorded. Looks like garbage, of course, but it's there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the game came out in 1996, 1997, so surely there was people doing stuff and trying to do stuff fast, but no one had really like conceptualized speedrunning yet at that point, I don't think. I don't know when like the first speed run came out. I think the earliest form was probably the Elite, which was for GoldenEye, also on the N64. I think that got founded in like the 2000s, but that made more sense because the game had like an in-game timer to track how fast you did like an individual level, whereas Mario, you had to have your own timer to time that kind of thing. So
yeah, I think that is an interesting thing to bring up, because I think the concept of speedrunning has existed for a long time in those games that do have those in-game timers, but it's definitely developed into an art form unto itself. As far as Mario 64 goes, what are some of the most popular categories for running that game? Because that's the thing with any game that you're speedrunning, is it's broken down into different categories.
The most popular category is definitely 16 star. That's the most beginner friendly one. You can learn it in a day. You can be doing a run in a day. So the fact that it's so easy to learn, it's really fun to race with friends. Everyone and their mother has done a 16 star run at some point. If you're in the speedrunning community, you've probably made your way around to it at one point or another.
Yeah, I'll definitely call my mom and ask her, what her best 16 star runtime is. So,
yeah, I'd be curious about that.
Yeah. What is your favorite category to run?
My favorite category is 120 star.
Okay.
It is getting every single star as fast as possible.
So basically the star runs is basically, it denotes how many stars you need to collect in order to have the run be considered complete?
Yeah, so there's only 120 stars in the game.
Right.
So it's basically just like, typically in speedrunning you have things like any percent, 100%. 120 star is like the closest thing to 100%.
100%, got it.
You don't get like all the caps, you don't open all the cannons. So technically it's not 100%, but it's not like trying to be. It's just get all the stars and finish the game.
Sure, I mean, collecting stars has long been a part of Super Mario tradition, so that makes perfect sense to me. When you were first learning to speedrun the game, are there any particular tricks that you struggled to master or you felt mastering really helped propel you towards greatness in speedrunning?
Since Mario is like a movement game, the tricks don't matter that much, but the tricks that felt really cool to learn and that got me like more inspired to keep going and I felt were a lot of fun was like pillarless and Shifting Sandland is a really cool glitch you do with a bomb to like clip into the pyramid. Then there's Lakitu Bounce, which is in Rainbow Ride, where you manipulate the Lakitu in the cloud in such a way that you can bounce on him to get onto a slope and then skip like a large portion of what you would normally do for that star. Those are two that stand out to me a lot. Breezeless is another super hard one that for a long time people thought only you could do if you were playing with tasks, like frame perfect, like a robot type thing, like the humans weren't going to be able to do it, but
Right.
eventually they figured it out.
So Mario 64, as you're saying, is very movement based. And so to me, that makes it feel as though it's pretty inviting as far as somebody that wanted to attempt to start to learn to master the game and speedrun it, but it's still very difficult to master. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, it's just the fact that the game moves as fast as you can move. Like it can always go faster, but if you want to slow things down, you can also take your time. Like there's no areas, unless you're trying to save time, that you have to move faster. So in theory, if you wanted to, if you just knew where the stars are, you could do a speed run that's like kind of slow, but without doing any crazy movement or anything. And that would be like a beginner thing. But the trick of the game, or like the way that you save a lot of time, is to cut out running as much as you can, because Mario moves faster when he's in the air or when he's like doing a move.
Well,
so you're just trying to master those gaps in between areas so that you're always doing like a long jump, or you're always diving, you're always in the air. And that's the tough part. And also angles are huge, like learning how to get those angles so that you aren't, taking too wide of a turn or whatever and losing frames.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you say, you don't want to be walking as much as you can possibly avoid it. So can you tell us how to perfect our backwards long jump?
The backwards long jump is, I'm not even that good at them, to be honest, but it's like it depends on where you do it. But it's really just getting a rhythm down. There's no like secret thing I can say.
Right.
The only secret of BLJs is you have to time it so that like if you're on stairs, you time it so that as soon as Mario's butt hits the ground, that's when you start mashing A.
Got it.
As opposed to just like mashing A mindlessly, you time that initial A press, or like the start of the.
What would you recommend for people out there who are just starting to get interested in speedrunning?
If you're just getting into speedrunning, you should take it slow, take it easy. I've seen people like jump in and try to do all the pro strats right away, and they get really demoralized because they're like, man, I should be able to do this. But really, at least when it comes to Mario, and I'm sure when it comes to a lot of other platformers, the more you play the game, the better you get a feel for the mechanics, and thus it's like you're leveling up in the game. So your ability to pick up new things is taking less time the better you are at the game in general. Like if I want to learn something new versus somebody who just started wants to learn something new, I could pick it up in like an hour, but someone who's just getting into it, it could take them like 10 hours, 20 hours. So take it at your own pace, start slow. And also practice in chunks, you know, try to focus on specific things that you're messing up instead of just bashing your head against the wall, doing runs over and over again. Practice a lot. You gotta learn to, if you aren't having fun with practice, then, I mean, it depends on what you want. Like if you just wanna have fun, do whatever you want. But if you wanna get good quickly, then you gotta practice way more than you do runs.
Yeah, isolating those individual moments and really perfecting them. All right, let us live vicariously through you for just a moment here. How did it feel to hold a world record?
I don't know if I'll ever feel that way again, but that moment of hitting the last Bowser throw, just like my entire body just started tingling. I felt like I was levitating, like, you know, all those years of hard work paying off on that one moment. It's pure bliss.
Yeah, I get that. You just like, and I feel like too, probably as you were approaching that ending and whether or not you were glancing at your timer or what have you, you get that sensation of like, oh my God, I'm like almost there, I might do this, and the adrenaline just really kicks in.
Yeah, extremely nervous. But then after the fact, like the next day and whatever, it's just not much changes, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know? It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it's like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
You know?
How long had you been speedrunning Mario 64 before you ever got a world record?
I started in 2012, August, right after that marathon. And I've taken a lot of time off. So it was 8 years since I had started playing, but I wasn't playing consistently for those 8 years. I probably had, like, if I had to guess, maybe 3 to 5, it's all a blur thinking back, but probably like 3 to 5 years of like actively playing the game, I'd say. Yeah.
Nice. So there you go.
Probably around, I would guess maybe around like 10,000 hours or more. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say.
I mean,
yeah, a lot of hours.
That's the formula though, isn't it? 10,000 hours. You gotta 10,000 hours and then you'll be on your way to being a master of a thing. And then maybe you too can hold a world record speedrunning a game of your choice. Thank you so much, Simply, for sharing your Mario 64 experiences with us and also giving us some tips and tricks.
No problem.
All right, well, I know that we learned a lot here today. Thank you for watching Your Guide to Speedrunning in 15 minutes or less, presented by GEICO. And remember, GEICO, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.